Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here to talk about two of my favorite topics, classical record conducting and Japanese junk food. Well, junk food generally, but today specifically Japanese junk food, because I don't know how many of you who are from the West have decided that it's fun to go hang out in an Asian grocery where you don't know what anything is and just try stuff that you think you can somehow tolerate, and so yes, I do that, and I go with my friends and we hang out in these Japanese groceries or Asian groceries, as the case may be, and we look at all the snacks. And one thing I have discovered is that no country has a more wondrous assortment of junk food and has lavished more attention on it than Japan. It is absolutely amazing. And what's amazing is, it's not just that they have interesting flavors of things. They have part of my life's ambition is to try every possible flavor of Pringles potato chip. And, you find flavors in Japan of things that, well, let's just say, squid testicle flavor or toad mucus. Some things look a little iffy. Let me put it to you that way. But other things, they just are amazing. Like this. Cheesa. Do you like cheese thingies, cheese crackers, Cheez-Its, and all those things? These are fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And they come in a couple flavors. There's cheddar and there's camembert pepper. Oh, boy. They're in these tiny little bags, though. These little pouches. It's like 1.1 ounces. And they're expensive. Japanese junk food is not cheap because they treat it with such love and such respect. And we'll get to that. Even though it's junk, they treat it with respect. And that's where the classical music business comes in. There's this thing I picked up recently that I haven't tried yet. I don't know what the name is. I think that translates as turd puffs. That's certainly what it looks like, but, we'll see. But one thing I've noticed, and the thing where classical record collecting comes in, is people ask me all the time, and, you've actually come up with this stuff too. It's like, why do we buy 10,000 versions of the same thing? And it's a very good question. It's a very fair question. And that's where the essence of Japanese junk food comes in, because the essence of Japanese junk food is the rice cracker. There are 300 billion varieties of rice crackers that you can get in Japan. And basically the ingredients are like rice, soy sauce, and if you're lucky, monosodium glutamate. That's basically what they are. They're just rice, soy sauce. They're little crackers, so they come in a million different shapes and sizes, but they all taste a little different because it depends what you coat them with and how they shape them and puff them and do whatever they do to them. And so, yes, they're all just rice crackers. They're all just the same ingredients, but there are 100 different ways that you can enjoy them. And that's what classical record collecting is. So I'm going to give you a very clear sample. Here, for example, we have George Sell doing Mozart symphonies. Now, everybody knows George Sell did amazing Mozart symphonies. Absolutely amazing. What would be the Japanese junk food equivalent? Well, let's see what we have here. Yes, I think these will do. Rice crackers. Now, see, these are nice little round rice crackers. See, this way. Yeah, there you go. That looks a little better. And they're hard and crunchy, but they're plain. They're very basic, but superbly made. That's Sell. Remember, he said, I can't put chocolate sauce on asparagus. He didn't want to make his Mozart too sensual. Well, as far as rice crackers go, these are not sensual. They're not sensual at all. They're just rice and soy sauce. What are the ingredients here? Fortunately, if they sell them in the U.S., they have to stick the ingredients. It's rice, soy sauce, see? Sugar, dextrin, soy sauce powder, cornstarch, modified starch, monosodium glutamate. Yay! Disodium 5-ribonucleotide. Boy, that sounds tasty. Caramel color, and so there you go. And they're amazing. They're amazing. Fully worthy of the George Sell Mozart symphonies. Absolutely stunningly fabulous. So, but some of you may prefer, let's just say, period instruments or period instrument infused performances. And for that, let's see, I just have here the Adam Fischer Mozart Symphony Cycle with the Danish National Chamber Orchestra, which is excellent. And it's extremely period influenced. You know, it's no vibrato and all that stuff. Well, for that, of course, we have these. These come on a little plastic tray, little plastic tray here on the bottom. There it is. You can see that. See the pattern, the hexagons, or whatever they are. You know, one of the things that amazes me about Japanese junk food is that it is fabulously well packaged. Now, even the stuff that's the lowest of the low, I mean, they take such care over it. I mean, it's amazing. You'll see that in a second. But you know, these are well, rice crackers. And what are the ingredients? Well, there are fewer of them. Glutinous rice. I can't even see. Well, you'll take my word for it. Soy sauce. There it is. And other things. And this is very periody because this is the more primitive form of rice cracker. As you can see, they're not particularly sensitively shaped. You know, they're not as lovingly presented. You know, a simple plastic thing here with that thing. And they're all sort of cookie cutter-ish, you know, with these sort of very basic. So this is your period instrument Mozart in rice cracker form. And then, well, let's just say you want to have the best of both worlds. That you want period influence, but a certain amount of modern warmth and sensitivity. Well, there's always Charles Mackerras with the Scottish Chamber Orchestra. And for him, oh yes, you get these, which are open, which I'm munching my way through. Now, this is the ultimate in Japanese junk food because you see it comes with this plastic tray, and every single cracker is individually wrapped. I mean, can you imagine every cracker individually wrapped? It's a carbon footprint nightmare. I mean, I always thought Japan was like one of those countries that was like signing on to global warming and things. Well, let me tell you, no one has told the Japanese junk food industry. I mean, they would individually wrap a potato chip, believe me. And Japanese potato chips are really, really good, especially the ones with pepper seasoning. Never mind, that's a different video. But these, look at these. They're glossy. They're somewhat rippled. They're sensual and tasty, but it's still your basic rice cracker. So these are teriyaki flavor. Teriyaki, absolutely. That's Mackerras and Mozart. Teriyaki. And so these are amazing. They are the king of rice cracker, well, one of them. But you may have a preference for something a little more traditional, something like Otto Klemperer with his sort of gaunt lack of sentimentality, but also a monumentality. You know, sort of big and powerful and large romantic orchestra. Well, there is a rice cracker for that too. And here it is. These rice crackers, look at that. If this isn't deluxe, I don't know what is. These are also, as you can see, individually wrapped. And they have sesame seeds, which may represent the forward woodwind balances that you get from Otto Klemperer's Mozart. You know, you have some extra crunch, a little extra something in there to give it a little spikiness, you know, a little roughness here and there. It's just terrific. And so those are wonderful too. Now, these are just four different varieties of rice crackers and 4 different varieties of Mozart symphonies. And I love them all. And you might well too. After all, you like different flavors of potato chips and different flavors of all these things. But nothing has quite the focus on these simple ingredients that Japanese junk food offers us when it comes to the rice cracker. And if you really get serious about collecting, just imagine, you know, the classic rice cracker that we all think about in the West here are these, right? These are wasabi flavor. Yummy, fabulous. But, you know, the cool thing about these, as you can see, is they come in, you know, half a dozen different shapes. Every one of these could be a different Mozart performance. You get a bag of Mozart symphony performances in the Japanese rice cracker equivalent. Because what are you getting? It's the same basic ingredients, but every one is a different shape, a different texture, a little bit different flavor. I mean, that's what we get out of these recordings. They are musical junk food. Now, I know some people might get hysterical and say, no, it's high art, it's great culture, it's bullshit. Nonsense. It is those things. But then again, all of these rice crackers are also marvels of modern technology and represent centuries of culinary cultural development. They are junk food. True. But, inexpensive, relatively speaking. I mean, they're more expensive than we usually pay for junk food, but still inexpensive, relatively speaking. And things you don't think about all that hard when you're chowing down and munching away. And they're just there to be enjoyed. And that's how I think of record collecting, because frankly, anybody who thinks that they are achieving some sort of, cultural nirvana by having 150 performances of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony is absolutely out of their minds. I mean, they're delusional. It's not the reason to get it. The reason to have 150 recordings of Beethoven's Fifth is to enjoy them for these slight differences between performances, but know that you're getting the same basic thing. And that, my friends, is exactly what all of these marvelous, wonderful junk food extravaganza things are from Japan. And I shall continue to hang out at my local Asian groceries and try some of these things that I either vaguely know about or don't know about. The other thing I might add in closing is that if you become a Japanese junk food aficionado and you particularly like rice crackers, you can get as many different varieties as you want, and you're all going to get rice crackers. I mean, even if it is toad mucus flavor, it's basically a rice cracker. And so just like getting your 400th version of Beethoven's Fifth or Mozart G minor or whatever it is, you know, on the one hand, you know what you're getting, but on the other hand, you can savor the differences between versions, between the different ways that these same ingredients can be made to taste or made to sound. I mean, I don't see any difference to you. So there you have it, my friends. Go to your grocery, get 100 versions of something, and try out the rice crackers. You're going to love them. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.